Oh, hi. How are you doing? I'm gonna stop right there because I can't stand it when videos do that. When, like, the person is looking off into the distance like he's living his life and happens to be sitting down here with an instrument to teach you. Turns, swivels, and you're right there. Perfect, ready to teach. And, oh, it's a surprise. I wasn't expecting you, but I have something to teach you anyway. Can't stand that. Alright, anyway, moving along to the actual learning. This one's gonna teach you guys how to play How to Save a Life. This one's not too hard as long as you know a little bit about chords. So I'm not going to go into as detail with every single chord like I did with Washed Away and I think even The Artist. Know a little bit. You don't need to know a whole lot, but if you know your basic letters, just A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Like, you don't really need to use all of them, but just an understanding of them helps and quickens the explaining process. So moving right along, you need a capo as usual. I know I'll get to a song where you don't need a capo eventually. I'm completely ignoring you poor people without capos, but then again, if you're a guitarist, you should have a capo. They're like $5. I'll tell you what, you guys make me famous off this, and then I'll send you the $5 to get a capo, but I don't know how that's gonna work. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the chords were a little bit weird until I'd seen a video on how to play it. I hadn't heard of most of the chords. The thing about this song was I saw a video on how to play it on YouTube, and it was pretty good because it was by someone who you actually are supposed to pay to teach you, but he had like a here's how good I can teach you, now please pay me money video. So I watched it, and it taught me the basic chords. And it taught me a strumming pattern, which sounds right. It's like... But it wasn't enough, because that's, that's playing it on guitar, and that's not playing it like they play it, and that's the point of doing a cover, to at least sound a lot like them, and maybe change it so it sounds better. But anyway... so I figured out, like, where you should be strumming, like, if you hit each note, because if you hear it on piano, they hit one note at a time, and then, of course, your left hand is doing bass stuff, which we can't really do without a bassist, but you kind of can, but here, I'll get to that in a minute. So I figured out, and don't worry, this isn't me explaining it to you, I'll actually go into detail. Anyway, but it just still didn't sound right to me. Like, there needed to be a bass note to keep it going. And so I figured out that you really shouldn't use a pick with it. You need to just use your hand. And then you can also hit you always hit bottom E. No matter what you're doing, always hit bottom E. So and then your top note, which I'm going to show you. That sounds a lot better, and it sounds almost identical to the piano, or at least as close as we're going to get on a guitar. Alright, so moving along to the chords, I'm already running low on time before YouTube says no more. First chord's a G. Switch this over. First chord's a G. Very simple, like I said, understanding of chords. You know what, I'm going to go through the chords, and then I'm going to go through the fingering. So, G. This one I don't know. I don't know the name of, so forgive me. I don't know these weird, diminished, everything. So, basically what you do is you take your FU chord thing, your middle finger, and oh, by the way, before I even get started with that, when you have your G, these two fingers back here on your higher string never move. When you're except during the chorus, they never move. So you can keep these grounded at all times. So anyway, take this finger and put it on the next highest string as you can, which would be your G string. And put it on the 2nd fret. And then take your index finger and put it on the 2nd fret on your low E. Okay. I think my guitar's a little out of tune, so forgive it. This is a tutorial, once again, not a cover. So, and while we're asking for forgiveness, forgive my singing. I'm not singing until later, and I'll make it brief. Alright, so you pluck, you always pluck your low string, like I said. Here, I'll scooch it over here now. As I possibly can. Alright, you always pluck your low string whenever you start a new one. And then you also always pluck your D string. Alright? No matter what, you just always pluck the D and the E. And then you go down with one finger twice. So you D and G. Or, sorry, E and G. Then you hit D, then A, then D twice, A, and then backed up to D. So I'll do it a little bit quicker so you guys can kind of see, okay? I'll use a pick to see if I can make it all the more obvious. Scooch this as close as I can because I know this is kind of hard to explain. Okay? So, you know what? I really can't. Okay, imagine that you always have to strike the bottom one, okay? Just remember that. I can't with the pick, though. So it's... Let's see if I can do this. Okay? That's the basic idea. So, you always do that same pattern. I hope you guys are following this. It's really hard to explain. Please feel free to ask any questions and I'll make more and more videos. I know this is hard to convey if I'm not sitting in front of you doing it. It's really bad. So, see if you can kind of watch my fingers. Let's see if I can scooch this back so you guys can see. Okay, so you do that chord, okay? Like I told you. Do these two. Then you move inward. So with these two fingers up here, you're creating an E minor. And then, of course, with your back two, you're keeping them grounded. And always hit the D and the E and do that pattern I told you. Okay? So it's the G. That new one. The one where your two fingers make an E minor. And then back to that new one. I don't know what to call it. We'll just call it the new one. And then you go back to the G again. Start over. Here's where I do the singing. Forgive me. Just so you guys can hear it. It's step one, you say we need to talk. He walks, you say sit down, it's just a talk. He smiles politely back at you. You step politely right on through. At that point, you can probably strum. I mean, of course, you can strum through the whole thing if you want, but at that point, it kind of sounds like a strumming would be appropriate. But this is all your choice. This is just kind of how I feel. So it's some sort of window to it right. You get the idea. All right, moving along. The chorus. So it's where did I go wrong? Obviously. So it's a C. Sorry. Wrong one. Reverse. Okay, it's a C. Very simple. Starts at where did I go wrong. And then this one's another weird one, but it's pretty easy to explain. It's a C again, so it's where did I go? But you take the C and you literally slide the exact same position up 2 frets. And if you strum this and let it resonate, it's probably going to sound like crap, but it's right, and if you try not to focus on it immensely, it sounds fine. So it's where did I go wrong? I lost a friend. That's an E minor. Friend. Let's see here. I lost myself. Where did I go wrong? I lost a friend somewhere. Sorry, forgive me. It's a G. And this is where it kind of gets. You have a bit of a different strumming pattern. It's so it goes D up down up down up. Sorry, G up down up down up. D up down up down up. So your last chord in that little thing is a D. So let me do it again. So it's a C. Where did I go? Don't know what to call this. C on 2 frets higher. I go wrong, lost a E minor friend somewhere. A G, D, D, D. Start that over again. I could have stayed up with you all night had I known how to save a life. And after that, you obviously go back into your G. I just end on a G like that because, I don't know. If you don't have a drummer with you, then you're going to need a way to end it off. So I just... It actually sounds pretty good if you play it quiet. It's very soft and stuff like that. So, if you're trying to change it in any sort of way. But, that's the basic idea. I probably did a really bad job of explaining it, and I'm sure you guys will have lots of questions, and I'm almost out of time. So, please feel free to ask any questions. I constantly check for comments, so I'll fix your problems right away, okay? So, thanks for watching. I'm going to get working on the next one.